All right, we officially have Gabbie Marshall reconnecting with Caitlin Clark, joining forces in Indianapolis. This is good news. Now, all we got to do is find a way to get rid of Stephanie White and get Kate Martin to Indiana as well. We got to break this down. The Caitlin Clark, Gabbie Marshall reconnection is happening in Indianapolis. We have some stuff to go over on ESPN about this new CBA. We got a lot to get into. Let's not waste any more time. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that.
The words shocked everyone. Gabbie Marshall, Caitlin Clark's legendary Iowa teammate, just announced her move to Indianapolis, the very heart of Fever territory. Fans erupted, expecting an immediate triumphant on-court reunion, but the silence that followed from Caitlin Clark regarding any direct basketball comeback has been deafening, leaving a trail of perplexing questions and unexpected drama. Is Clark actively shutting down the reunion everyone craved, or are deeper, unseen forces at play, creating a shocking hurdle in what should be a straightforward story of friendship and shared glory? The rumors are flying, and the reality is far more complex than anyone imagined.
The reconnection is happening. Hey, can we get Gabbie back in the gym, CC? I think she still could shoot the three and play some defense. We might need replacement players. You never know with this CBA. Gabbie Marshall, we might have a spot for you. I'm excited to announce I'll be joining ETS Performance HQ as Director of Operations in Indianapolis, Toro wrote on Instagram. And sure enough, soon after Toro's big reveal, Marshall announced that the couple will be moving to Indianapolis soon, putting her and Clark in the same city once again. Caitlin Clark responded, "I'm so proud of you." Oh no, "I'm so proud of you," Marshall wrote on her Instagram.
This bombshell dropped after Marshall's partner Spencer Turo publicly announced his acceptance of a Director of Operations role at ETS Performance, located right there in Indianapolis. It was the perfect storm, a career opportunity for Turo, and a geographical alignment that instantly ignited hopes for Marshall to once again join forces with Clark on the WNBA court. The pieces seemed to fall into place effortlessly, making the subsequent silence even more unsettling. Could such a perfect scenario truly be complicated by Clark herself?
Including Clark, and that's if the stars align. Perhaps Indiana could give Marshall a tryout, assuming she's up for it. Tryout. I think we need to give Gabbie Marshall a tryout. I'm 100% with the Indiana Fever giving Gabbie Marshall a tryout, because at the end of the day, what else do we have here? Like, it ain't that many people under contract. Look, off the strength of CC, she should be able to get a tryout. You should at least have enough respect to do that, all right? J.R. Smith was able to get his brother on the team. Giannis Antetokounmpo got the Thanasis Antetokounmpo on the team, all right?
Marshall herself quickly followed up Turo's revelation with an Instagram post confirming their move to Indianapolis, solidifying the buzz. This wasn't just a casual visit, this was a permanent relocation, bringing one of Clark's most impactful college teammates directly into her professional orbit. The online world exploded, celebrating the imminent return of the dynamic duo. Yet, the celebratory mood quickly shifted as the lack of an official statement regarding a tryout or even a public endorsement from Clark became conspicuous.
Look, off the strength of CC, she should be able to get a tryout. You should at least have enough respect to do that, all right? J.R. Smith was able to get his brother on the team. Giannis Antetokounmpo got the Thanasis Antetokounmpo on the team, all right? Caitlin, at least give Gabbie a tryout now. I don't want to hear no excuses on why it can't happen. All right, let's get into some CBA talk. Obviously, there's a lot going on and a lot of conversation surrounding the new offer from the WNBA with the $1 million base salary, but they are not interested in continue to pay for housing.
Caitlin Clark's only public comment came as a simple "I'm so proud of you" on Marshall's moving announcement. While a heartfelt sentiment between friends, it conspicuously avoided any mention of basketball, the Fever, or a potential on-court reunion. This seemingly innocuous message, in hindsight, fuels the very rumors it fails to address, subtly signaling that a return to the court for Marshall might not be as simple or as welcome as fans desperately wish for. Is this a polite dismissal, or merely a friend's genuine pride?
NBA talk. Obviously, There's a lot going on and a lot of conversation surrounding the new offer from the WNBA with the $1 million base salary, but they are not interested in continue to pay for housing for these players and certain things, that stipends and things like that they were giving before. They're basically saying, hey, we're upping the pay, and now you can cover your own tabs for living and all of this other stuff. A lot of people are up in arms about it. Some people are saying, take the money and do the deal. Let's get the season going. Let's hear what Alexa Philippou had to say about this on ESPN today.
Gabbie Marshall's history speaks volumes. A key defensive and three-point threat for the legendary Iowa teams. She played alongside Clark throughout their entire college careers. After college, she chose a different path, earning her master's degree from the University of North Carolina, stepping away from professional basketball. This background makes her potential return a major story, yet also highlights the challenge of integrating a player who has been out of the professional game, even with an unparalleled college resume and a close connection to the league's biggest star.
For these players and certain things, that stipends and things like that they were giving before, they're basically saying, hey, we're upping the pay, and now you can cover your own tabs for living and all of this other stuff. A lot of people are up in arms about it. Some people are saying, take the money and do the deal. Let's get the season going. Let's hear what Alexa Philippou had to say about this on ESPN today.
About where things stand at the moment.
Yeah, George, well, there was a lot of meeting, a lot of back and forth over the last few weeks in hopes of trying to get some movement as yesterday's extension neared, and I can report that
despite her retirement from competitive play, Marshall has remained a staunch supporter of Clark, often traveling from Chapel Hill to attend Fever games and cheer on her good friend. This unwavering loyalty and personal connection made her relocation to Indianapolis seem like an open door, not a potential barrier. Fans saw a natural progression, a heartwarming narrative of friendship blossoming into a renewed professional partnership. The reality, however, is now proving to be far more nuanced and perhaps unexpectedly cold than the feel-good story everyone expected to unfold.
right now they are offering a deal with a salary for players at the maximum with a $1 million guaranteed base, projected revenue sharing, pushing those total earnings for maximum players to more than $1.2 million. Sources have told me just now. The average salary projection under this deal, the average salary across the board is projected to exceed $500,000. The minimum salary would be projected to exceed $225,000, sources tell me, and the salary cap would actually increase to $5 million a year, and sources say would be directly tied to revenue growth each year of the CBA. Right now,
the most telling sign of resistance comes from the suggestion that Marshall would need a tryout to even be considered for the Fever roster. Perhaps Indiana could give Marshall a tryout, assuming she's up for it, the report stated, clearly indicating that a direct offer is not on the table. This isn't the guaranteed red carpet welcome many anticipated for a beloved former teammate of the WNBA's reigning sensation. A tryout signals uncertainty, a challenge, and the implicit message that her past with Clark isn't a golden ticket onto the court.
On the most recent offer from earlier today that was reported, a lot of people do not agree with them taking housing out of the deal. Some people do. I just feel like, hey man, listen, if the league minimum is going to be $225,000, you can go get your own apartment. That's just kind of how I feel. I don't know, but I'm saying you get $1 million contract, you can go get your rent an apartment for however 4 months. Okay, it's not going to kill you. That's just how I feel. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. This is Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.
The current state of the Indiana Fever roster only amplifies the intrigue surrounding Marshall's potential return. Heading into the 2026 WNBA season, the Fever reportedly have only 3 players under contract, including Clark. Assuming all stars align, this skeletal roster should, in theory, create an abundance of opportunity for a player of Marshall's caliber and familiarity with Clark's game. Yet, even with such glaring needs, the need for a tryout persists, raising eyebrows and fueling speculation about what or who might be standing in the way. The situation brings to mind legendary examples from other leagues, where superstars leverage their influence to bring family or close friends onto their teams. J.R. Smith famously helped his brother secure a spot, and Giannis Antetokounmpo has multiple brothers playing alongside him. The unspoken question hanging in the air is direct and damning. If Clark wanted Marshall on the team, why isn't it happening automatically? This comparison highlights the perceived lack of immediate advocacy from Clark, amplifying the sense of a tacit refusal. This unfolding drama for Marshall is set against the backdrop of critical WNBA collective bargaining agreement negotiations. The league has put forth a groundbreaking new offer designed to dramatically reshape player compensation and benefits. Understanding these financial shifts is key to grasping the complexities of roster construction and the value placed on every single player, especially those not considered a top-tier star, even with a strong personal connection to one. The proposed CBA deal includes a staggering $1 million guaranteed base salary for maximum players. This monumental increase signifies a new era of financial security for the WNBA's elite. While exciting, it also raises the stakes for every roster spot. Teams must be incredibly discerning with their investments, meaning even a player with a history like Marshall's, if not immediately deemed a top-tier asset, faces an uphill battle to justify a valuable slot on a salary cap team. Beyond the base salary, the league's offer projects total earnings for maximum players to exceed $1.2 million thanks to a new revenue sharing model. This commitment to tying player earnings directly to the league's growing success is a significant step forward. However, it also means that every dollar counts, and any player brought in would be scrutinized not just for their on-court talent, but their potential to contribute to the overall revenue generation. Marshall's role, therefore, must be undeniable. The average salary across the board is projected to exceed $500,000 under this new proposal, a figure that dwarfs previous compensation levels. For Marshall, or any aspiring player, this enhanced financial landscape makes securing any WNBA contract a far more lucrative prospect, but simultaneously intensifies the competition. Teams are looking for immediate impact, not just sentimental value, making a tryout for a retired player, even Clark's former teammate, a rigorous gauntlet rather than a formality. Even the minimum salary is set to exceed $225,000, according to sources. This figure alone represents a life-changing income for many athletes. The argument being made is that with such substantial pay, players should be able to cover their own living expenses, including housing. This shift in financial responsibility adds another layer to roster decisions, as teams will evaluate the full cost and benefit of each player without additional housing obligations, muddying the waters. Crucially, the salary cap itself is slated to increase to an unprecedented $5 million per year, with a direct link to revenue growth. For context, the 2025 salary cap was only around $1.5 million. This massive jump indicates a league ready to invest heavily in its talent. While it creates more room for player salaries, it also means teams will be even more strategic in filling those expanded slots, ensuring every player provides peak performance rather than an emotional connection. The most controversial element of the new CBA proposal centers on the WNBA's intention to cease covering player housing and other stipends, expecting players to manage these expenses with their significantly increased salaries. This has ignited heated debate among players, with some arguing that the league's responsibility extends beyond just salary, while others believe the substantial pay hike justifies the shift. This contentious point underscores the high-stakes environment in which Marshall's potential return is being considered. While some players are understandably up in arms about losing the housing benefit, others urge acceptance, citing the transformative pay increases. The perspective is simple. If a player is earning a minimum of $225,000, they can secure their own apartment. This stark division highlights the individual financial calculus each player must make, and emphasizes that in this new WNBA landscape, every player, regardless of past relationships, must prove their economic and athletic worth. The urgency for this CBA deal to be finalized is palpable, with expectations for an agreement before January. The league cannot afford further delays as it rides the wave of unprecedented popularity, largely fueled by stars like Caitlin Clark. This compressed timeline means any roster decisions, including potential tryouts for former teammates, are being made under intense pressure, further explaining why a simple reunion isn't just handed out. The broader conversation surrounding player contracts, team needs, and the league's financial evolution casts a long shadow over the simple narrative of a college reunion. It's no longer just about friendship, it's about business, performance, and strategic roster construction in a rapidly professionalizing league. This fundamental shift explains why even Caitlin Clark's most beloved teammates might find the path back to the court unexpectedly blocked, despite their undeniable bond. So, while the rumors of a joyful Gabbie Marshall and Caitlin Clark reunion echo through Indianapolis, the reality is far more complex, potentially even involving a quiet refusal from the very dynamics of the WNBA itself. Clark's silence, the insistence on a tryout, and the league's new, high-stakes financial landscape all point to a truth. Legendary friendships might be forged in college, but professional basketball demands more than sentiment. The question remains, will Gabbie overcome these hidden hurdles, or will her Indiana return remain heartbreakingly off course? The whisper started quietly, then exploded. Gabbie Marshall, Caitlin Clark's legendary Iowa teammate, just made a seismic move to Indianapolis, sparking a frenzied call for her basketball return. The entire WNBA world expected Clark to instantly champion her friend's re-entry onto the court, envisioning an epic reunion. But the silence from Clark, the profound lack of an immediate public endorsement for Marshall to pick up a basketball again, sent shockwaves through the fan base. It wasn't just a missed opportunity to many, it felt like an outright refusal, a baffling sidestep from the very person who could make such a reunion possible. What unseen forces are truly at play, keeping these two formidable athletes separated on the professional stage despite the perfect storm brewing for a powerful comeback? This unexpected twist has left fans bewildered and hungry for answers, questioning the dynamics behind the scenes. The initial spark ignited when Marshall's partner Spencer Turo announced on Instagram that he accepted a Director of Operations role at ETS Performance HQ, right in Indianapolis. This immediately positioned Marshall in the same city as Clark in the Indiana Fever, an undeniable geographical advantage for a potential professional comeback. Marshall swiftly confirmed the couple's relocation to Indianapolis, a move that publicly cemented her presence in the Fever's home turf. The timing and location were too perfect to ignore, instantly fueling intense speculation and widespread excitement among fans who remembered their undeniable chemistry on the Iowa Hawkeyes court. This seemingly innocent personal decision quickly transformed into a major talking point across the WNBA landscape, setting the stage for a dramatic narrative. Adding fuel to the fire, Caitlin Clark herself responded to Marshall's Instagram announcement with a public "I'm so proud of you." This heartfelt message, however, was directed at Marshall's life move to Indiana, not an endorsement of her basketball return. Fans, eager for a playing reunion, interpreted this as a subtle but telling omission. It was a moment where Clark could have explicitly hinted at a tryout or even publicly welcomed the Marshall back to the game, yet she remained conspicuously silent on that front. This perceived reluctance, despite the clear opportunity, intensified the narrative of Clark's refusal to actively push for her former teammates' on-court comeback. Gabbie Marshall, a vital defensive force and three-point threat for those iconic Iowa teams, retired from basketball after the 2023-24 season. Following her stellar college career, she pursued higher education, attending the University of North Carolina to earn her master's degree. This academic pursuit underscored Marshall's intelligence and foresight beyond the court, indicating a clear post-basketball path. She remained a steadfast supporter of Clark throughout her WNBA rookie season, frequently attending Fever games from Chapel Hill, demonstrating unwavering loyalty and friendship. Her attendance at games only highlighted the existing bond, making the subsequent lack of an active push for her return to playing all the more perplexing for observers. The clamor for Marshall to receive a tryout with the Indiana Fever isn't baseless. It's rooted in the team's current roster instability. For the 2026 WNBA season, the Fever reportedly have only 3 players under contract, including Clark, contingent on star alignment. This glaring roster deficit creates an undeniable opening for new talent, potentially even replacement players if the ongoing CBA negotiations falter. With so many slots potentially available, the idea of offering a tryout to a proven, albeit retired talent like Marshall makes logical sense from a team-building perspective. The structural need only amplifies the question of why Clark hasn't used her unparalleled influence to advocate for her former teammates' potential inclusion. The fan base quickly drew parallels to other sports legends who leveraged their influence to bring friends or family members onto their teams. Figures like J.R. Smith, who helped his brother secure a spot, or Giannis Antetokounmpo, who championed his brother's inclusion with the Bucks, set a precedent. The expectation was that Clark, with her unprecedented sway in the league, would similarly advocate for Marshall, especially given their shared history and Marshall's clear talent. The absence of such a move from Clark, despite these obvious examples, deepened the mystery and fed the narrative that something was holding her back from fully embracing Marshall's return. A significant layer to this unfolding drama is the current contentious WNBA collective bargaining agreement negotiations. The league has put forth an offer featuring a staggering $1 million maximum base salary and an average salary projected to exceed $500,000, with minimums above $25,000. However, this lucrative deal comes with a major caveat. The league proposes to stop paying for player housing and other stipends. This shift means players would need to cover their living expenses despite the massive salary increases, leading to a heated debate within the player community. This financial shakeup has far-reaching implications for player recruitment and retention, adding another complex dimension to roster decisions across the league. The new CBA proposal also suggests an increase in the salary cap to $5 million a year, directly tied to revenue growth. This is a dramatic leap from the 2025 cap of approximately $1.5 million, promising unprecedented financial opportunities for players. Yet, the removal of housing support is a sticking point for many, sparking a fierce debate among athletes. Some argue that the increased pay more than compensates for self-funded housing, while others believe core benefits should remain. This division among players creates uncertainty and a volatile environment, potentially impacting roster stability and making tryout decisions, like Marshall's, even more intricate than they appear on the surface. The WNBA players and league are currently in a 6-week extension period, hoping to finalize a deal before the looming deadline. The urgency is palpable. A new agreement needs to be in place, ideally by January, to ensure a smooth transition into the upcoming season. This high-stakes negotiation process, with its potential to reshape player compensation and benefits, hangs over every team's strategic planning. The outcome of these talks could significantly influence the Fever's ability to fill their roster, making the call for a Marshall tryout either more or less feasible depending on the final terms agreed upon. This backdrop of financial uncertainty adds another layer of complexity to the refusal narrative. One perspective on the CBA negotiations, voiced by commentators, suggests that with a league minimum salary exceeding $25,000, players should be able to cover their own apartment costs. The argument posits that a professional athlete earning $250,000 annually can reasonably afford housing for a 4-month season. This viewpoint dismisses concerns about housing stipends, focusing purely on the financial uplift. If this perspective gains traction, it highlights a potential shift in player expectations and responsibilities. Such a stance could subtly influence how teams approach new players, including those contemplating a comeback, making Marshall's path back even more dependent on direct advocacy. The idea of Marshall stepping back onto the court isn't just sentimental, it's practical. Her ability to shoot the 3-ball and play tenacious defense made her an invaluable asset to Iowa. These are precisely the skills that could benefit the Indiana Fever, particularly with their need for roster depth and consistent perimeter play. Even after a hiatus, a player with her basketball IQ and proven capabilities could make an impact, especially given the current state of the Fever roster. The argument for a tryout is compelling purely from a strategic standpoint, creating a stronger case for Clark to champion her former teammates' return. Despite retiring from basketball after the 2023-24 season, Marshall has stayed connected to the game, particularly through her unwavering support for Clark. Attending numerous Fever games from North Carolina, she demonstrated her passion and enduring bond with her former teammate. His consistent presence in the WNBA ecosystem, even as a spectator, suggests that the competitive fire might not be entirely extinguished. Her continued engagement makes the prospect of a tryout more plausible than for someone completely removed from the sport, further intensifying the puzzle surrounding Clark's perceived refusal to push for her friend's active participation. The reconnection in Indianapolis, as touted by the initial reports, seemed to offer a fairy tale ending. Two Iowa legends reunited in a city hungry for WNBA glory, with one potentially joining the other on the court. This narrative practically wrote itself, building immense public anticipation for a seamless transition. The emotional weight of their shared history and success at Iowa added an irresistible appeal to the idea of Marshall suiting up alongside Clark once more. This highly romanticized vision of a reunion clash directly with the current reality, amplifying the disappointment and confusion surrounding Clark's subsequent silence on the matter of a tryout. The concept of replacement players emerged during the CBA discussions, hinting at the potential need for teams to fill rosters quickly if agreements aren't met, or if veteran players opt out. This scenario could throw open doors for unexpected tryouts, even for players who have been out of the league. Gabbie Marshall, with her collegiate pedigree and demonstrated skills, perfectly fits the profile of someone who could step in as a valuable asset under such circumstances. This unforeseen opportunity makes Clark's apparent lack of initiative even more perplexing. The stars seem to be aligning for Marshall, yet a key endorsement remains missing. The pressure on Caitlin Clark is immense, not only as the face of the WNBA, but also as a cultural icon. Every move, every word, every subtle gesture is scrutinized. Her decision, or lack thereof, regarding Marshall's potential return carries significant weight. Fans expect loyalty, friendship, and a championing spirit from their stars. To not actively push for a friend and former teammate, especially when the opportunity seems right, goes against many fan-held expectations. This immense public pressure undoubtedly plays a role in the ongoing narrative, forcing Clark into a position where every non-action is amplified and scrutinized, contributing to the refusal perception. The Indiana Fever's unexpected postseason run without Clark during her rookie year, pushing the Las Vegas Aces to a Game 5, showed glimpses of their potential. This past performance, combined with Clark's star power, means the team is eyeing sustained success. Adding depth and proven talent becomes crucial for building a championship contender. A player like Marshall, familiar with Clark's style of play and a known commodity, could offer instant chemistry and experience. The strategic benefits for the Fever in bringing Marshall in for a tryout are clear, making the absence of Clark's advocacy even more puzzling from a team-building perspective. ESPN's recent reports on the updated CBA proposal revealed more favorable numbers than initially shared, including the projected $5 million salary cap. This financial improvement is designed to entice players and create a more robust, competitive league. However, the details of what the players truly think of this latest proposal are still unknown, indicating continued internal deliberation and potential disagreements. This ongoing uncertainty means that roster decisions for the upcoming seasons remain fluid, with every team waiting to see how the landscape will ultimately settle, thereby impacting any long-term commitment to potential tryout candidates like Marshall. The narrative of Clark's refusal is not about a direct confrontation or an explicit rejection, but rather the powerful void left by her inaction. It's the absence of a rallying cry, a public statement, or a strong behind-the-scenes push that fans expected. When a generational talent like Clark has the power to elevate a friend, yet chooses not to, it sparks speculation about hidden complexities. Is it a strategic move, a personal boundary, or simply a non-issue to her? This perceived distance from actively advocating for Marshall's basketball future, despite all the stars aligning, remains the core mystery. Ultimately, the dynamic between personal friendships and professional decisions in high-stakes sports is incredibly complex. While Clark expressed pride in Marshall's life move, her role as the WNBA's biggest star means her every endorsement, or lack thereof, reverberates. Whether this refusal is a calculated move to avoid perceived nepotism, a respect for Marshall's chosen post-basketball path, or simply an oversight amidst the whirlwind of her own career, it underscores the intense scrutiny Clark faces. The saga of Gabbie Marshall's Indiana rival and Caitlin Clark's surprising silence on her basketball future highlights the untold pressures and difficult choices that even the biggest stars must navigate, leaving fans to ponder the true cost of loyalty in the cutthroat world of professional sports.